Rise and shine, baby. So we just had, or we still having the full moon in Taurus at the moment. And of course, when the moon is full in Taurus, this is desires being fulfilled on the deeper level, on the extreme level. And of course, we know a full moon can get you killed, can get you smoked like a black and mild. So you never want to put yourself into a situation of being seated and comfortable with a circumstance. And of course, a dark cloud over your mind. Your mind is important. You must protect it, especially during the full moon. Because the full moon can get erratical. And of course, things definitely get erratical and transform. So of course, you want to make sure you transforming the right shit. So this shit won't transform you into some dog shit. Because it could be a Pluto. It could be a poodle. And of course, we got the moon in Taurus, where it loves being here. It loves ice cream. It loves all kinds of things. It loves to get comfortable. And of course, the things you truly love, the food, the desires, and all the circumstances that play out in that predicament can basically harm you. And when it harms you, that's harm's way. So you gotta protect that. Gotta protect that baby. Transformation can happen in a second. Can get transformed, and of course, transform is gift. It's always a gift to be transformed. Never get into a situation of thinking that transformation is bad, or however they basically explained it to you. You got it. Transform to receive something new. And of course, if you're not willing to go to the transformation to receive something new, then you're just too scared. And of course, when you're scared, that means you're not moving around. That means you're not able to handle all that strength and all that withdrawals. So of course, gotta get on point though. Now we're gonna basically get into the perspectives of the moon and Gemini. And the moon and Gemini, this is feeling comfortable on a deeper level about communicating and talking, and of course, utilizing intellect. So of course, we're going to be talking about deep things, communicating about deep things, and of course, sharing things on a deeper level, and expressing things. Of course, being curious about things on a deeper level. Also doing research, sharing things, expressing things, and of course, committing, and of course, talking about these things on a deeper level. And of course, things get deep, especially certain things that can basically be positioned to set you up to thinking deeply. And of course, be careful, it's a full moon. So of course, this is how they utilize all kind of things to get your mind predicated on what they basically want you to pay attention to. So if you're not paying attention to the good seeds you was planting versus the bad seeds, you will get caught into a big ball, and this will suck you up like a succubus. And of course, when you get sucked up like the succubus, it suck all that energy and all that air out of you. And of course, your air is basically vibrating low. It's not swimming. It's not moving freely. And of course, Moon and Gemini wants to be feeling comfortable about feeling freely, and of course, talking freely, not being stagnated. And of course, we also got the North Node in Gemini. So this is basically getting on board when it comes to your spirituality. And of course, sharing, interacting, and of course, communicating. Communication is key. And if you're not communicating with the keys, of course, the door's going to be locked. The door's going to be closed. The door's going to slam. And when shit starts slamming, that means your ass is going to get slammed with some shit. And if you're getting slammed with some shit that's not yours, then you just basically know that you're basically implanting shit that don't belong in your house. Always important to basically take your shoes off when you walk in the house. You don't want to basically bring no dog shit or no shit or no poodle on your motherfucking carpet. So it's highly important to basically take care of those percentages. Now, when we're talking about Moon and Gemini, the Moon wants you to react or respond to communicating, relating, and of course, sharing information and details. Also, it wants you to basically communicate on a deeper level. Try to keep things hidden. Don't express too much things, because of course, when you put yourself into the light, Scorpio don't like the light. Scorpio want to make sure things is basically being taken care of, where no one is watching, and of course, they're not being seen into certain attributes or certain actions. So if you put yourself into a situation of exposing yourself out there, doing other shit, this can basically fuck up the reputation, and this can put you into a situation of the sun being harmed. And when you're being harmed, that means you're masculine, and of course your ideas is being attacked. And of course the sun is where it's directed at in Scorpio, and of course it's exalted here, so it loves being here, so it goes to the extremes here. So try not to put yourself into the situation of expressing too much things. But if you are, make sure you're doing it behind closed doors or somewhere where no one else can basically see. Because drama always can play a part into this perspective. You could be talking about a whole lot of shit, and of course this is what you attract. Whatever's on your mind is attracted. So be careful and be aware. Now, you're going to basically get into the pursuits of where you have Gemini in your houses. Now, the houses is basically your habits, things that you do on an everyday level, things that are going to take place unconsciously, things that you're not going to be aware of, but of course it's going to be there in the unseeable perspective, on the behind the scenes. But of course, you're always on the scene, or you're just basically participating when it comes to the environment, or how you seclude yourself in that arena, or this is the area where these things is going to basically happen at. This is the area where you need to take care of that. Of course, that's how it play out. Now, having a Gemini first house, this is communicating deeply about your personality, how you put yourself out there, and of course being curious about things on a deeper level, especially when it comes to your spirituality. Now, also wherever you have North Node at in your house, these are the areas where you basically need to aim for that, and of course combine that with the moon, and of course express that, or put that out there. Also, having this in your first house, which is the Gemini ascendant, you're going to be basically communicating, expressing, and of course sharing things on a deeper level. And of course you may basically overindulge too in this perspective, being that the moon is the conjunction, of course the North Node is in conjunction with the moon. You may basically be expressing yourself or putting yourself out there, talking too much about things in life or general on a deeper level. Now, if you got Gemini in the second house, this is the things that you value, and of course the resources. You may be basically talking about your resources or things that you're valuing on a deeper level. And of course, it's going to put you into such a circumstance situation of going through changes when it comes to things that you're valuing. Whether it's a person that you're valuing can change, a place can change, or a thing can change. And of course, it's going to put you into a situation of getting stable with something that you value, or talking about something that you value with a person. And of course, it's going to also lead you to a situation where you may basically go through some unexpected changes when it comes to something that you value too. But be aware of that too. Something can get transformed, or something can go through changes. You may basically go to the extremes when it comes to something you value, or you may basically be talking about something that you value to the extremes. Be aware of that area too. Also, you have Gemini in the third house. This is basically talking and thinking deeply about your environment, your friends, and of course your associations on a deeper level. This also puts you into a situation of being all over the place, also adapting to many things, also being interested in a whole lot of things. Also, you can go through some trauma into this area when it comes to your environment. Also, so be very aware of that area too. You may basically go through experience when it comes to trauma, expressing yourself, or someone that you're dealing with, a friend. It can be some trauma going on, so be aware of that area too. And also, you'll be alright. Also, whenever you have Gemini in the fourth house, this is basically thinking and communicating deeply about home, family, and of course privacy. This may be a house or a situation where things may basically start to pop up. Certain dreams, certain imaginations, or certain family traditions may basically pop up. Or you may have a keen interest of basically communicating about this on a deeper level. Be aware of this house too, because this is going to be a learning process for you right here in this position. You're going to be basically learning how to put yourself into a situation of communicating deeply when it comes to your home, your family, and of course making sure that you're also putting yourself first and being freely into this area, and not basically carrying too much weight when it comes to talking about your home, your family, or how you basically was brought up into their tradition. Learn how to basically be free here in this area. You'll be alright. Also, having Gemini in the fifth house, it's going to put you into a situation of communicating deeply about your talents, your gifts, and of course your alternatives. This is also putting you into a situation of going to situations of talking too much, kidding too much. Also, you're going to have a gift to put yourself into this situation. Also, you're going to put yourself into a situation of having opportunities too. So be aware of the opportunities of talking and communicating about your talents, and of course your gifts, and expressing these things too. You may basically talk too much about these things, and be aware of that. And you basically might go through some big experiences, or you can go through some restrictions in this area too. So be aware of that. Also, if you got Gemini in the sixth house, this is basically communicating deeply about about a routine, something that you do on a day-to-day basis. Your routine can get transformed on a deeper level during this time too. You may go through experiences of transformation when it comes to your health, transformation when it comes to details, transformation when it comes to the routines. You could be very strict. Try not to be all over the place. You're going to go through some misunderstandings in this area. Try to focus on things that really truly matter. And this way you won't put your brain into a mental cage. And of course, this won't put you into a situation basically going through some unexpected changes when it comes to your health and your routines. You'll be on point in this position. Also, you have Gemini in the 7th house. This is basically communicating and relating deeply when it comes to relationships, partnerships, and of course, all kind of interactions. You could put yourself into a situation of overindulging. Also, Gemini don't really commit with this house like that. So there could be some opposition, some issues, some things that need to be resolved, or circumstance situation from the past that can basically pop up. It may basically influence this house. But be aware about this. For me, you're gonna have this percentage level where you're gonna be basically dealing with opposition, and you're gonna be basically going through some changes. You're gonna have the gift, but also you're gonna have opposition. You can go to the extremes. So you may basically want to relate too much, talk too much, and of course, this may throw you off or throw others off and shit. So be aware of this house here in this position. You may basically want to be preaching and teaching a lot, and of course, interact with too many people, places, and things. Try not to do too much of that. Also, still a full moon too, so it's still kind of like playing into that percentage level. So be aware of that position. If you have Gemini in the 8th house, this is basically talking deeply about things behind closed doors. It's talking deeply about secrets, and of course, wanting to be closed off from circumstances and situations. So you're going to appear to be basically very deep when it comes to your desires, thinking about your desires, and of course, you're going to be basically want to be reserved in this area, which means you don't want to basically talk too much or express too much. Also, Gemini, with this house right here, Gemini feels comfortable talking about things deeply behind closed doors. So talking too much about things in the public or in the open, they basically be looking real kind of offish about you. Also, in this position, you're going to be going through some misunderstandings too, where you may have a understanding of basically wanting to basically communicate deeply behind the scenes, and of course, a misunderstanding of basically expressing these things too. So try to be careful of that area. You're going to be very extreme in this area too. Now, if you have Gemini in the 9th house, basically this is communicating deeply about your experiences, and of course your morals and your principles. You're going to be basically want to create harmony and peace and balance and romance on this level too. So it's going to put you into a situation of being all over the place, and of course going to the extremes and overindulging when it comes to basically taking on too many responsibilities, and of course communication shifts, and of course ways to relate. Try not to put yourself into that situation. You're going to be at. Also, if you got Gemini in the 10th house, basically going to be communicating deeply about your goals, your status, and of course your career. You also going to basically be very serious about these, very strict about these. Of course, you're going to want to feel the need to basically broadcast everything that you're talking about, and of course with other people, places, and things. You're going to go through some conflict into this area too. So you're going to be basically dealing with a learning process when it comes to expressing things or basically retracting. You try not to let the world define how you express yourself, and you're going to feel free to basically speak your mind, but don't let the world or anything that's dealing with the public or the social media to basically contradict these things. Also, Gemini in the 11th house, you're going to basically be talking and relating deeply about your associates and how you express yourself, for me. You're going to also basically be very gossipy, be very out there and shit. So try not to basically make this a situation where this is like a work ethic or a job or anything like that. Try to be free as possible, because of course you're going to have opportunities. You're going to have a gift actually, but you're going to have also opportunity to basically deal with opposites or discommunication in this perspective. So try to basically be free, try to be open. Of course, try to communicate more with your emotions, express yourself in this area too. You'll be right. Don't be too cold how you express yourself and doing things in that matter. And last but not least, you're gonna have Gemini in the 12th house. You're gonna be basically communicating deeply about your dreams, imagination, of course, spirituality. It's gonna basically put you into a perspective of caring too much about other shit, caring too much about other people, places, and things. Also, what you basically need to do here is communicate deeply about your dreams, your imagination, and of course, be solitude, be peaceful, and of course, you may put yourself into a situation of being too caring, too kind, too loving, and of course, too sensitive towards other individuals. Try to communicate about things that you want to basically feel deeply connected with, and of course, you'll be out in this position here.